Hey beauties, welcome back for another segment of Kim Cooks Live, and this is where I teach you how to make really delicious, healthy, beautifying, energizing recipes that are super easy to make, and you can generally make in under 15 minutes, recipes for you and the whole family. So, sounds great, right? Well, I just want to emphasize that these recipes are also super delicious because eating healthy isn't really sustainable or fun if you don't really like the taste of what you're eating. So this is something that I've specialized a lot in working with different clients and making sure that we can eat well, we can really fulfill our health goals, but also be satisfied. So today I'm going to be making for you guys my Eggless Tofu Scramble, and this is something that can be a really great, easy lunch or even dinner idea. And so, hi guys, starting to come in. This is a scramble, so I'm going to show you guys how we're going to make it. We're going to make it in the green pan with just a few simple ingredients. So when it comes to soy, I get a lot of questions about soy. Is it okay to eat soy? Is soy bad? So first of all, I want to say that whenever we do eat soy, it should definitely be organic and non-GMO. That being said, some of us have a soy allergy, so of course in that case, obviously you're not going to be eating soy. But for a lot of us, soy can be incorporated into our diet in moderation, as long as we don't have an allergy, again, as long as it's organic and non-GMO, and also as long as it's in these whole forms that are not processed, not this sort of like super refined processed soy that you see in junk food, that you often see in like snacks and like the, you know, just the really, just again, super processed soy. I just got back from Japan a couple weeks ago, some of you guys know, so I had a lot of tofu there, and honestly it was beautiful, it was well prepared, it was like artisanal. These amazing restaurants would have all their different forms of tofu, so I started thinking about tofu again, which was part of the inspiration for this recipe. I talk about tempeh a lot, which looks like this. It's like harder, it's like a little bit nuttier looking. Tempeh is also a great thing to rotate in. It's fermented like miso and natto, so it is a little bit easier to digest. So I do tend to use tempeh more in my recipes. I eat tempeh more in general, but I also do work in tofu sometimes, and it's nice to have different textures. And tofu, even when it's firm, here's my tofu I have today. My hands are clean, so I'm gonna pick up a piece here. It's, even when it's firm, it's definitely smooth. It looks different than tempeh. You're just gonna get a different types of recipes, different tastes with tofu, so it's something that you can work in. And I had some of this tofu yesterday, unfortunately, and so the label is gone. Once I open up a package, I move it into these glass Tupperware containers. But I wanted to show you guys that what you guys can find now in the store is also sprouted tofu, which makes it even easier to digest. So this is sprouted, organic, non-GMO tofu. You can look in the health market. It's very inexpensive. It's just a few dollars, really. And the tofu, of course, is really high in protein. It's got minerals. So this is a great meal. This is a great ingredient to bring in when you want something satiating and grounding, and you know, you're looking for something quite rich in protein. Hi Olivia from Philadelphia and Suzanne from Canada. It's amazing to see you guys, and Carrie also from Canada, and Carol also from Toronto. Lots of amazing Canadian beauties today. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Hi Jessica, some of you guys are doing, and Joanna from Germany. Some of you guys are on the roadmap right now, which is awesome. Keep going, guys. I hope you guys are doing amazing. I'm thinking about you guys starting out, and you know, just keep the comments coming about that. Anything I can support you guys on as well. Look for questions from you guys. So here today, though, we're making this really easy tofu scramble. You only need a couple ingredients. First, we're going to be cooking in a little bit of coconut oil. You also want to make sure that's organic, of course. I'm just going to take a little dollop out. Let's say like, you know, 2 teaspoons or so. And I'm going to add that into my handy dandy greens pan that I just love so much. I'm going to turn this on, use the back burner today. I'm going to turn this on medium, and then turn my fan on. So I do love using my ceramic pan. You guys see, if you guys have seen other segments on here, I use it a lot. It's really easy to clean. You don't have to use as much oil, but the cleaning part is probably my #1 reason. And if you guys are interested in the one that I use, I link to it in the Kim's Picks section of KimberlyCenter.com, where I link to some of my favorite products and kitchen gear and all kinds of stuff. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, check it out. So I'm just gonna get the oil going and sort of move it around the pan, get it ready. So I talked about the tofu already. This is the sprouted organic tofu. Again, you can look for it in the health market. If you don't have the sprouted kind, it's okay. Just make sure it's organic. For this scramble, I like to use firm. So it's up to you. It's really like a texture thing. I'm measuring this out, but it's generally 8 to 10 ounces that I use when I'm making this scramble. So what I'm gonna do, and you guys can see here, it's like in these, maybe you can't see, now you can see, it's just in these little, in these firm shapes. And so I'm just going in with my knife and I'm just sort of rough chopping it. So this is gonna simulate, like a scramble, like an egg scramble of sorts. So, some of you may like that idea, like, oh, I used to eat eggs and I don't. Some of you may think that's gross, like eggs make the smell makes you sick. So if you don't like the idea of eggs, forget I said that. But basically, it's just, the idea is that it's just going to be rough chopped like this, and it doesn't have to be pretty, it doesn't have to be, a certain way. This is just something you can make super fast. So look at my little pile of chopped tofu now. This is the base of our scramble, and it is going to cook really nicely. So the pan is starting to get pretty warm already. So all I'm going to do now, all we have so far is coconut oil, and I'm just going to dump the tofu in there. Ta-da! I love when things don't have to look so pretty. One of my least favorite things is spending a ton of time chopping veggies. It just takes a lot of time, so I love recipes like this, or when we're blending and it's all about just doing it super fast. So I'm going to let that start to coat in there and cook. May have to add a little bit of oil. If it sticks a little bit to my green pan, again, no worries, because it's so easy to clean. In the meantime, what I have here, I just picked this from my garden for you guys. This is all the good-looking basil that I had, but it's about 2 tablespoons, which is perfect for this recipe. I'm just taking it off the stem here and just sort of cleaning it up. And then I'm going to do a rough chop of this basil. So again, this is about 2 tablespoons, more rough chopping. Or you can, like, if you prefer, you can just tear the leaves a little bit. 2 tablespoons of fresh basil. And then we have this beautiful vine ripened tomato. And again, with tomato, I've written a bunch of blogs about this. It is a nightshade. If you have an autoimmune condition, you may want to skip the tomato, skip the peppers in general. But if not, I find like I do really well with tomatoes, so it doesn't, I definitely ingest tomatoes. I don't have an autoimmune condition, but again, it's specific to your body. See how different foods behave for you. So I just did a rough cube and gotta cut a little more. I'm doing half a cup now of this tomato. So just getting that ready, throwing that there. I'm gonna give this guy a little stir. It is starting to stick a little bit. What I do when I don't want to add more oil is, there's oil a little bit on the bottom of the pan. I literally just take some water and just add a little bit of water in. And I used to think I was the only one that did that, but then I took all these vegan Thai cooking classes in Bangkok, and my teacher did the same thing. She was like, oh, oil, because I was like, oh, it's okay to mix oil and water, and there is oil on the bottom, but just a little bit of water to get it going works like a charm in these green pans, I find. And if there's enough oil, I don't want to add any more, so I'm good. So now I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit. There's a little bit more moisture in there. I've got my fan going, so the water is going to burn off. And this is cooking very nicely. It's starting to brown a little bit. So now, at this point, I've been cooking for what, like 2 minutes? Next I'm going to add in is my tomatoes. So I'm going to throw that right into the pan with the tofu. You're going to get a little bit more moisture from that as well. Now some of you may say, oh, for this scramble, it'd be amazing to add white onion or, garlic. If you like those ingredients, I say go for it. I don't personally use onions and garlic right now very much at all. I have a whole blog about why not. You guys can check it out again on KimberlySnyder.com. It's a combination of Ayurvedic concepts, yogic concepts, certain things I've learned from my bio-cybernaut brain training about how these onions and garlic can be irritating. They can create a little bit more agitation. And I do have fire. You guys see a lot of energy. I can tend towards fire anyway. So for me, no onions or garlic in general that much anymore. But if you do well with them, you could certainly throw them into your scramble. And if you were going to do that, I would probably put the onions, saute them a little bit before you even add the tofu. So this is going really well. It's just cooking down. I love cooking in a pan, one pot cooking. It's so easy, so easy. Not a lot of cleanup. So the next thing I'm going to add now is my basil. And as I mentioned to you guys, I just took this big, nice handful from my garden. I don't have the most stuff growing right now. I'm going to admit to you guys, my garden's looking a little sad, but the basil's looking pretty good. So I just pulled it off and I just did a quick chop. Don't want any stems in there. That's the one thing. Just pull them out. And with basil, you don't want to cook it down too much because the freshness of the flavor is what makes it really potent and really delicious. So I'm just going to turn this a couple times. Let it all warm up. The tomatoes are pretty warm now. There's a nice brownness on the tofu. Starting to stick a little bit, but that's okay. Again, my miraculous green pan is going to be very easy to clean. And at this point, I'm going to add some fresh cracked black pepper, which is going to add that pop of flavor, and it's going to be amazing. And then I'm going to add some of my handy dandy pink Himalayan sea salt, which I absolutely love. Throw that in. I can adjust for a minute afterwards. And that is it. That's the scramble right there, you guys. It's got beautiful color. It's got red and it's got green. The black pepper adds a nice pop too. So I'm going to add it to my plate. Now, if I was going to eat this for a meal, I would eat it with a salad as well. So I am going to actually eat this for lunch when I finish. I'm going to toss together a really easy salad or just top this with a bunch of greens, maybe a little bit of lemon juice. Eat this as it is. I don't advise making this into a sandwich because it is such a dense protein. For our beauty food parent or food combining reasons, we don't want to put bread with which is a starch with tofu, which is a dense protein. Sometimes if you want to have like a, it's not about being perfect, but just know that it is a not great food combination. So you may do it as a treat sometimes or if you're out, but in general I try to avoid that because I know that would make me feel really heavy and bloated. And so I definitely don't food combine properly all the time, but I choose when I do it because I want it to be specific and know that I'm doing it. And right now I've got a lot of stuff to do the rest of the day, so I don't want to improperly food combine. So I want to show you guys what this looks like. It's like a pretty big pile of food. I actually think this would be like 2 servings. It's huge. So I'm going to cut it in half and eat it with a salad. Probably eat the other half for dinner later, maybe, or tomorrow, which is the beauty of it. And yeah, super easy. As you guys can see, I was talking and talking, but you can make this in like 5 minutes. It's delicious. You could try different herbs. Today we did basil, but you could also try cilantro, parsley. You can mix it up. You could add different veggies, but it's really delicious and super easy. Let's see questions you guys have. Robin said, loving the roadmap. That's amazing, Robin. Keep going. Sending you guys the best. You guys are in the accountability group. That's awesome. I know Caitlin's been in there a lot and checking in with you guys about that. Olivia said, how often would you recommend having the tofu scramble? So again, it just depends on your rotation. You can mix it up once a week, maybe good, once every 2 weeks. I definitely have tempeh a couple times a week. So for me, you know, once a week is probably when I would have it. I would have it for lunch or dinner. Like we say, we generally try to keep really dense, heavy proteins out of the morning, just all the way up until noon. We're having glowing green smoothie, or you know, maybe some avocado or oatmeal, but denser proteins I like to save a little bit later. So body's in cleanse mode in the morning. So anytime after that would be okay. Paula said garlic and onion are on the roadmap. Yes, Paula, garlic and onion are also in most of my recipes, also in Beauty Detox foods. They're very healthy foods. They are amazing for you. They have a lot of health properties. I just share with you personally, it's more of a mental thing for me. It's a very subtle thing. It's not about the health quality of it. It adds a lot of flavor to food. It's just for me, you know, again, with my body type, and this is an Ayurvedic concept, if I eat too many onions and garlic, I can get a little bit more fiery. So that's the reason I'm avoiding it. And there is a note, I believe, in the roadmap that we put about that, but it's in there because it flavors food and they're healthy as well. So that's totally fine. Yay. And okay, so Becky said this is a great idea for breakfast. So yes, this is a great idea for brunch, I would say. And if you're like, you know, sitting around on a Sunday morning and you want to make something that's not eggs, but it's a little bit heavier, sure, go for it, you know. But if you're up at 7, you're off on your way to work, that's when we really want to get into that flow of glowing green smoothie first. But you could definitely do it for brunch. It would be amazing. So Becky said, what type of tofu is this? So this is, I don't have the label anymore, Becky, unfortunately, but it's a sprouted organic firm tofu. And if you can't find the sprouted, at least look for the organic tofu, and firm works well for this. All right, beauties, well, I hope you guys check it out and try it for yourself. Let me know how you do. Make sure you guys subscribe here, because I'm doing this show sort of random days and times based around Bubby's nap schedule. But remember, I'm always here for you guys. I'm also here, you know, here on Facebook in general, also on the blog, KimberlySnyder.com, where you guys will find many, many delicious, yummy, easy recipes. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys soon. Have a great rest of your day.